Two, one, we are live. Happy Tuesday afternoon. It's been a busy day. I feel like it's almost evening already, but it's not. I hope you're all well. What have I done today? I've worked at my one of my schools that I worked at from 9 to 1. I've come home, made some phone calls, and I've done some cleaning up and planned dinner and made some business calls and thought, I want to do a live and say hello and spin some ideas off with you. I did actually do this maybe a year ago, but a lot of you probably missed that, so I'm doing it again. So it's just a quick live on ways to get some cash for yourself, to save for things, pay bills, and maybe treat yourself. Actually, I did that little post a couple of weeks ago, like what's one thing you would get every month if money wasn't an obstacle for you, and so many people said get a massage every month, and I have to agree. I've actually been doing a massage about every 5 to 6 weeks for the past few months, and it's amazing. Working 2 jobs and having a business on the side helps me pay for those sorts of things, by the way. Anyway, according to eBay, the Australian second-hand economy is worth around $34 billion, with the average household sitting on 25 unwanted items worth around $4,200. Isn't that incredible? I know over the past few years we've sold a few things that we haven't wanted and raised some cash for things we wanted, so that's great. But anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. I do have 6 ideas here for earning some extra money, making some extra money. First one is the gig economy. That's the Airbnb and the things like Uber, Lyft and Sheba. So those last 3 things are the share riding or giving lifts sort of economy. Airbnb obviously is hiring out a room in your place to people who are doing short-term visits to the area and stuff. Now, the thing with these is there's really specific requirements, especially for the share riding stuff. Like you have to have particular insurance, you have to have a car of a certain, no older than a certain age and stuff like that, to be able to participate in those. But there's still ideas out there. I think if you have a spare room in your house that's really not going to much use, it's probably worth looking into Airbnb, even if you just make it available in, say, peak sort of times, holiday times and stuff. Again, there are specifics with that that you have to meet, but I don't think it's as difficult to meet as what the car share riding thing is. So there's one idea. Another idea is participating in online paid surveys. I have been down this road before, and they don't really pay much, and I quite often would spend a few, maybe 5 to 10 minutes going through the qualification process for a survey, only to find out that they didn't want someone my age or my height or my freaking coloured underpants, which was a bit frustrating when you consider you give all this information out when you first register with them. So they should be able to kind of pick the people they really want out to do those surveys then. But anyway, that was a small frustration. But I think something like that, if you're a time waster and you spend a lot of time scrolling on Facebook or scrolling through Instagram or something, is there another better way to use your time? Why not monetize it in some way, even if it's a small amount of money? So that's the online surveys. I'm quite happy to share all the websites and stuff that I've kind of filed away over the years. Another one is dog walking for locals. You can just chuck some flyers in letterboxes and see if people want their dogs walked for a certain set price. The thing to look in for with that is definitely insurance. If you're doing it even as a hobby and just for $10 for half an hour or something like that, you still want to have some sort of an arrangement with the dog owner when it comes to if you run into problems, like the dog you're walking might freaking bite someone, right? So there's definitely a consideration to take in there. Another thing you can do is like pretty old school that we used to get kids to do in the old days, is knock on doors and say, hey, do you want some windows washed today? Number 5, freelance work. So that includes Upwork, Fiverr, Clickworker, I think, and Airtasker. So Airtasker is a good general one. That's when people want help with something. Say, I want help with someone to put furniture together for me. I want someone to come clean my bathroom. I want someone to come and clean my car. There's easier kind of things like that. Sometimes there's harder things, like I need someone to come and help me move furniture from one house to another. That's a bit more specific because you obviously need to be able to lift, you need to be able to move and things like that. But Airtasker is one way that, and you can specify your local area in that and see what's going on. You usually actually, there's a task set and a price set, and people kind of put their interest in, and then the person advertising that role will then choose a person to come and do that task for them. And that's a bit like Airbnb and Uber, and that the actual app, the people, whatever that they run the show, do the money transfers too. So it is one of those things where as you build a reputation, that's really good, especially if you're one of the people paying. Like, you don't want to hire people and not bloody pay them. You're not going to end up with people coming to do jobs for you at all. There's also a service called Rev, R-E-V, which is a transcribing service that you can register for and do work for them. If you think you have really good typing skills and transcribing skills, I've actually done a little bit of this work through Rev. You can actually earn some money just by doing the training, and that'll help you find out if you're suited to it or not, because there's very specific things about formats and stuff that you have to follow. But if you're good at it, you can pick jobs up there. Again, it's a lot of your time, and the reward's not huge. And I found every time I picked a job, some of the audio I was listening to was just too hard to kind of bother spending my time with. But I think someone who isn't working 2 jobs or 3 or 4 jobs on the side and is looking for something easy-ish to do with their time, that might be worth looking into if you have those sort of skills. So my next top tip, number 6, coming back around again to eBay, and they're saying that the second-hand economy is worth $34 billion. The average household sits on 25 unwanted items worth around $4,200. So I think the last time I looked up their research on this, quite a few years ago, it was actually the average household sitting on $1,000 worth of unwanted items. So that's gone up quite significantly now. What do I use? Actually, I had a business on eBay for a long time, and I actually found that difficult towards the end because I just kept kind of changing the goalposts all the time. But as a second-hand goods selling platform, it's not too bad. Again, they're changing algorithms and stuff, made it a lot harder. So thankfully along came Facebook Marketplace and also Gumtree, which Gumtree happens to be owned by eBay. Facebook Marketplace isn't. I prefer Facebook Marketplace. I've actually had some pretty good success getting rid of some items there. I've had a good percentage rate of people actually showing up and paying for and picking their items up. I think probably in the last 2.5, 3 months, I've made about $200 just from selling some unwanted stuff. I've sold something yesterday for $50 actually, and that was the second person that inquired. The first person didn't end up wanting it because it wasn't quite the right height for them, but the next person came along and they want it. So it took me, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks to sell that. So these tips aren't necessarily how to make money fast, because that's just doesn't really happen generally unless you get lucky on Facebook Marketplace and you list something and someone sees it and just goes bang and takes it straight away. But it is worth it. Spending a bit of time, doing some good photos, doing a good description, and just seeing how you go. That time investment is the main thing, of course. I think that is, if you are looking on eBay, if you are selling on eBay, just make sure you do your research on the fees that are applicable. Make sure eBay's really good, I think, for things you can post. So always do a good quote for postage, because there's nothing worse than underquoting and then having to either look bad by saying, oh, hi, it's actually another $20. So know that, and know that eBay also charge their fees based on your quote, like on your postage as well, not just the sale of the item, but the postage as well. That's something they changed a couple of years back. That's probably my main tips for today. I hope this has been helpful. My daily gratitude, of course, is for all these online platforms that enable us to sell our secondhand unwanted goods. The next thing you need to do, really find time to do a bit of a spring clean through your house. Find some goods that you think might be of value that you don't want anymore or don't serve a purpose anymore, haven't even been used for a year or two. A little bit of online research can give you some idea what they're worth. And if that doesn't, you just decide yourself, look, what would I really like for this? And you just give it a go, and before long, if it's worth something to someone, they're going to either come and grab it or they're going to make an offer, and that's when you decide if you're willing to sell or not. So hope that was helpful. I hope the rest of your day is amazing, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for watching.